you think of good zombies in Call of Duty, most people tend to think of World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and BO3 mostly, and maybe BO4. While many negatives can quickly be associated with modern zombies games like Cold War and now Black Ops 6, while there are negatives with modern zombies that people quickly point out, there are positives to this modern zombies era that many people can gloss over, or they just simply forgot about because they just didn't play much, and vice versa with the negative parts too. Now today, I welcome you to a year in review, Black Ops 6 Zombies, the great mode and the potential story. Sit back, you're going to hear a lot of really weird opinions from me, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Do you like my glowing green balls?
The gameplay of this game is the most enjoyable and by far the best of the modern zombies era. The loop that was delivered with Cold War Zombies was refined and improved upon in this game. As much as I like Cold War Zombies, it was extremely easy once you got set up, and it's not as easy as Cold War, and it is harder. A lot of stuff poops out post round 30. The game is harder than Cold War Zombies, but there's not this huge gigantic wall of entry that was BO4 Zombies. Now this should be sort of a given, but I'm pointing this out because of Cold War Zombies maps. None of these maps were complete campaign assets or map assets being reused. All these maps were unique to Zombies, which is good because of BO4 Zombies, which was just remasters, and Cold War Zombies, which was just campaign asset flips. The perk system from Cold War and MW3 has returned, and it's probably one of my favorite parts of modern zombies as a whole. There's no perk limit that desensitivizes you from using anything but the base 4 perks that we've had since World at War. You have freedom of picking all the other perks without worrying about having to trade something like Speed Cola for PhD, or Double Tap for stamina, or God forbid, Jug for anything else. The augments in this game were a very good and amazing change to this game that really supported different playstyles, and it gave more options to perk and field upgrades and ammo mods, and I love being able to have more options with how I play. The Omni movement and the movement in general in this game is one of my favorites. Being able to get on top of cars and boxes just in case you mess up while training zombies, and jumping over railings easily made the movement in Zombies shine brighter than all the others, especially with the omnidirection diving and the omnidirection sliding. Now, this is a given thing that should be in every game. The set crew coming back. The only reason I bring it up is because Cold War, Vanguard, MW3 Zombies had no set crew we could play as. It was just operators. But I do like that we still have the option to play as different operators that are not the main crew. For the people that just want to play as something that isn't the main crew, if they want to play as the Prestige skin, or a Battle Pass skin, or something they bought from the store, the only thing they're lacking in my opinion, is the fact that they don't have enough lines for something like power-ups, more voice lines in general, and just lines in general.
Well, green balls are better than blue balls any day of the week.
The force of 1,000 wombats! You die! Now you're it!
I have vodka, but no fucking ammo!
I think if they want these characters to be loved as much as Primus and Ultimus was back then they would need more lines that play while we play as them, just to make us fall in love with them even more. Directed mode is one of the best features of modern zombies. I love directed mode so much. It gives the people that don't have the time or don't have the patience or the energy to go in and do an Easter egg, and it also gives the people that have done the Easter eggs to go and replay boss fights without having to trudge through watching Mr. Waffle Waffles for the millionth time just to get to that boss. Now I do like the Easter egg rewards being operator skins and wonder weapon skins. I think it's a really good thing for the game Black Ops 6 as a whole because it brings more people into the mode to go and play the Easter eggs. It gives another method of getting free skins without having to spend $20 in the store. Now unfortunately at the cost of local play, we have save and quit, which is a really helpful feature for those that want to do something during the game or something comes up while you're playing the game of Liberty Falls or Terminus, you can just save and quit and come back later. Thankfully, with the rarity system, we still have the option to do loadouts with different weapons. We're still running around with a LMG, but it's a gray rarity LMG, so it's not really going to do much damage when we get past like round 5. So we still have that progression with our weapons. The Easter eggs in this game are much more simple than they are complex. That could be me being completely biased towards simple quests because of the fact that I don't like the fucking rock step on Revelations or the tedious and long Easter egg that was Blood of the Dead. Oh my god, that gives me nightmares. Pack-a-Punch abilities also did return with weapons like the GS45 and the LR sniper rifle, turning them both into explosives. There may be more Pack-a-Punch abilities that I forgot. I probably did forget. Again, just like my BO7 beta review, I was in love with the soundtrack of this game from start to finish.
It's time to run!
Now, personal opinion I have is that I didn't have an issue with armor in this game as much as a lot of people did. The only thing that I could critique about armor is the fact that we can make it look different. We put it on differently. But other than that, I don't really have a problem with armor as a whole. And I say that too because the last time they did try and do shields, we had to fucking pay to buy it and fix it, which was just a really bad change, and I don't want to. I'm scared of giving I am scared of giving them the ability to do shields again, that they're gonna do something as stupid as that.
No ammo is no fun!
Now, the negative about this game was the point system, but I have a theory on why they made the point system the way it was. During old zombies like BO3, you could get set up really quickly, and by round 20 you could have potentially more than 10,000 points and you just have nothing to spend it on. Maybe this is why they changed the perk system. Maybe this is why they changed the point system in the first place, just so we don't have just this influx of points with nothing to spend it on. I know I'm literally just pulling a potential reason on why they changed it to this out of my ass, but it could be for a completely different reason. I just don't know. I think leaderboard events were a really bad thing for zombies. I don't like the leaderboard events because it really just amounted to people that have so much time on their hands, or people just sometimes doing exploits to get as many points as possible. Replace them with task events like killing 30 manglers and killing 5 abominations, so it's something unique to zombies. Or maybe, just maybe, we could reintroduce community challenges for everyone to progress towards. Now, another downside with the events is that a lot of ammo mods and field upgrades were locked behind these events that were really just XP events. It would have been better to just give a task for us to do and not have to wait mid-season update to obtain it in a really stupid XP event. The initial overuse of Manglers and Terminus and Liberty Balls were really bad, and it really harmed the perception of this game to other Zombies players, because again, it was the third time of seeing the Mangler in a row, and we were just tired of the Mangler at that point. Now, the Amalgamation's pull attack was very annoying. Thankfully, the zombies run away when it does grab you, but the window to actually dodge it, even with PhD slider, is so small. What could have been done was that when it does grab us, we would still have the ability to shoot it. If we shot off its head or shot in its mouth, maybe it could free us, and just so it's not bad and gives us a damage opportunity in Amalgamation. The reason why I say to shoot off one of its heads because those heads regenerate so quickly. While I do appreciate them trying to do something new with the Dark Flare upgrade, it was just way too weak. It was way too weak and was dependent on augments to be somewhat usable. Now, thankfully, in the beta of Black Ops 7 Zombies, it was much better when I was using it. I hope it stays that way. Hopefully I'm right about it being better in Black Ops 6 Zombies. But there's just no reason to use it outside of Energy Mines, or Ether Shroud. Shadow Rift and Lightman were the only new ammo mods, and Melee Macchiato was the only new perk. I could understand when it comes to perks, there's a lot of ideas for perks and ammo mods that could literally just be turned into an augment rather than a whole new ammo mod or perk, but unfortunately that's the case. Melee Macchiato really became an Easter egg perk because of how low the damage was to zombies on higher rounds. There's literally an augment to make it one shot on higher rounds. Why? Why make the damage that low to begin with? Death Perception really is just freaking useless. Aside from the Treasure Hunter augment that you get from killing special and elite enemies, there's no real point in using Death Perception. Now personally, I'm okay with aerial streaks, but if we are going to change them, I think aerial streaks should be taken out in favor of more ground based and weapon streaks. In the same fashion that we have the Disciple Injection on BO7, I would like seeing more ground based and weapon streaks instead of more aerial streaks. Now that we have the positives and negatives out of the way, I do want to make a personal map tier list of these maps that we had in Black Ops 6 Zombies, as well as point out the positives and negatives of those maps specifically. Now, this tier list has personal bias and opinions, and the way I'm ranking these is not ranking them as a whole with every Zombies map that existed, because that would be stupid. There's a lot of better maps than the Black Ops 6 Zombies. I mean, to be fair, this whole review is biased and has opinions, but it's more with this section than everything else. A quick little disclaimer: exactly Citadel, Shattered Veil, and Richtofen's boss fight in Reckoning had to be done on directed mode, solely because of time restraints I had during the recording process of making this video. Maybe my script won't line up with what I'm saying with the footage, so yeah, little heads up. I love this map. I don't know why. I don't know where my insane bias for this map came from, but I just love it. It's the best facility map we've gotten when it comes to the atmosphere in modern zombies. The Easter egg is fun, the traps are really fun, and there's a lot of potential for high rounds on the starting island. Patient 13's boss fight is also really cool, and the fact that it uses different elements and it's weak to certain ammo mods adds some complexity to the boss fight. His attacks are easily telegraphed, which makes them easy to dodge, but you still get hit really hard if you do get hit by them. The only negative to me is his wipeout move that he has in his final phase when he's in his electric form. I just don't like wipeout moves at all in zombies. It's personal preference, so it might be different for someone else. Also, the intel revolving around Guthrie before he became Patient 13 and Modi's intel were also really great, and I love listening to them. Another shortcoming I have with this map is the Beam Smasher. I love the way it looks, I love the way it sounds when I shoot it, but I feel like there could be so much more with this weapon's damage. Also, there's just no purpose of the outer islands aside from Wonder Fizz, the Beam Smasher's quest, and the Easter egg steps. Unfortunately, I can't give this map a good ranking or a fair ranking because I have so much bias for this map. So, to compensate, I will give this map a favorite out of 10. You have Blanchard on this map. That's enough. Best map ever. But seriously, the map layout is simple, and it's a really chill, laid-back map to grind camos on and to just turn off your brain for a moment and just enjoy the gameplay. The Easter egg is also really simple and it's not that hard. Although I'm half and half on no boss and having a boss due to how small the church is, the actual final encounter is really just a holdout event against zombies, specials, and elite zombies. But I do love the track that plays during this final encounter. I love it so much. Now this might sound completely blasphemous coming from my mouth, but I would compare this map to the Giant in BO3 due to the fact that this map really is the simple, chill, laid-back map of this game, at least in its launch. You can chill, play zombies, without having to worry about searching up the Mr. Raffle Waffles Canorium. And that, because of some shortcomings I have with this map, but because I love the gameplay so much, I would give this map a 7 out of 10. Now, this might be the least favorite of the big 4 maps that we have in this game, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. I still do think it's a really good map. The highlight of this map for me really is the boss fight with the Guardian. I love his moveset. He doesn't have a cheesy wipe-up move like Patient 13 does, and he's not a boring fight either. I like fighting him a lot. The only negative I could say is that the arena gets smaller and smaller with each phase, and I just don't really like the arenas getting smaller while getting bombarded with amalgamation zombies, Doppelgas, and the Guardian. Doppelgas was a good addition for this map, and definitely should have stayed in this map and not gone into another game survival map. Now the swords look really cool with the animals they're linked to, and their abilities are so fun to use, but my god, they actually suck complete dick at, being swords. Especially when we came from something like the Chrysalax from Cold War. Man, what the fuck. I do think Kraft only being in this map and just dying in this map too was a waste for his character. He was really only here to get one of the MacGuffins in this story. I think reserving Kraft for the next map would have been a much better choice for the game's story, and to help us get the Sentinel MacGuffin. Doing this Easter egg the way it was intended brought back the ancient technique of taking a picture of your screen with your phone to remember symbols, which I really just don't like. I have nightmares of getting the Void Bow on Drak. Overall, it's my least favorite of the big maps we had in Black Ops 6 Zombies, but by no means does that mean this map is bad. I do like this map. I can see the reason why people would say it's a favorite map, and that's fine. More power to you. It's just not my favorite map, and I wish it was. So I would give this map maybe a 8 out of 10. Now the Tomb is probably my least favorite map in this game, but like I said with Citadel, that doesn't mean that it's a bad map. There is still an astronomical gap between the Tomb and the worst zombies maps we've had ever. The layout of this map really gives this map a lot more potential for high rounds in the same way that Liberty Balls has one. The Dark Aether fauna and the room itself does look really pretty. I mean, so long as you don't focus on the 480p skybox. I do like the bug eggs being something different to the armory, but most of the time when I do get them, I just get blue rarity rewards when I shoot down golden bugs. It's probably because of what round I'm on, and I just don't really mess with them that much. Now the Ice Staff made a very questionable return, as in, of all places, what the fuck are you doing here? But the staff is up there with the jet gun and Liberty Balls, and how efficient it is and being your save me wonder weapon. Now it might be different for some people, but I could not for the life of me give a flying fuck about Archibald. I don't see that changing years later down the line when I come back to this game. Now the final boss being the Sentinel MacGuffin itself gives the map more of a unique pull and a unique feature, instead of being the usual big bad enemy you shoot until it's dead. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I do love the fact that they tried to innovate with this type of boss. The MacGuffin's first half or the first 4 phases aren't so bad, but the next 4 phases are really the problem for me. The HVT spam turns the entire arena into a gigantic clusterfuck, and thankfully this HVT spam isn't present in directed mode, which again, thankfully. If I come from a really shitty day out and got to this boss fight in directed mode and died to a Mimic, Doppelgas, and Amalgamation that are the same color of a tomato but are built like a fucking tank, I probably wouldn't want to touch this boss fight for a while, in the same way that I wouldn't want to touch the bridge section in Blood of the Dead. Thankfully, the Easter egg steps are simple, so there's not much progress lost when you die in the boss fight. And another thing that I love about this boss fight, and the thing that keeps bringing me back to doing this boss, is the music. I did say this map was my least favorite in this game, and I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. It's fun gameplay wise, but the Easter egg boss itself really just brings it down for me. Now, I do really like the map layout of this map. I like it in the same way that I like Terminus and Citadel's map layouts. The underground section where Sam is also really good for training and killing zombies, and the atmosphere of this map is really good too, and I love going around and looking just at the map itself. Now, the Ray Gun Mark II and its upgrades are really fun to use, but guys, really? Are we really using the elemental versions of this freaking squirt gun for the second time? The Disciple and its changes are really good for this map. It doesn't have that really shitty health regen from MW3 zombies, thank god. The Z-Rex is also a really cool boss fight, and again, I would put it below the Guardian because of the gas spots in the arena that just slow you down if you don't slide through the PhD slider. The Easter egg isn't that bad, but my god, there's so many part locations. What the fuck? You're probably gonna give Dead of Night a run for its money with how many part locations are in this map. The cool thing I love about the boss fight with the Z-Rex is having Richtofen help and shoot the zombies and the Z-Rex. Although I couldn't really tell if he was doing any damage because I was killing everything way too fast. But the armor he threw was really useful sometimes, and it did save my life. Overall, I would give this map maybe a 9 or an 8 out of 10. Because of my bias for Terminus and because I just like this map a lot more than Citadel. It's a good map that you can have fun on, just playing the game. There's a lot of space to work around with the courtyard in the front of the mansion. And the underground, if you don't know all the part locations, you're gonna have to search up Mr. Raffle Waffles for every single step. When it comes to this map, I think with the layout is the best way they could have went with the verticality without ending up with another situation like Die Rise. Also, with this verticality, the freefall augment with stand-up shines the most here. The layout of this map is also really good too, with the main rooms that you could go and train in being the Forsaken's room and Spawn. I'm sort of okay with the Uberklaus being a pain in the ass in the way he is. With the bottle step from Citadel being the book step where we have to look at the file numbers of Samantha's items she got from Dark Ether. I just don't like taking pictures on my fucking screen every single time I need to recognize something from an Easter egg. I am in love with the soundtrack in this map, and it's honestly the main reasons I go back and do the Easter egg all over again in directed mode. With my favorite of these tracks probably being the track that plays during Sam's boss fight. Having two separate boss fights and two different endings that the player can choose is actually really interesting and is a nice change and adds more replayability to the map. Even though it makes no fucking sense because of Shattered Veil's ending. Even though I did praise the layout and the replayability of this map specifically, and I do think it is fun, there is one thing that has been permeating throughout these map rankings that fucks all of it up. Every single bad element of this game's story completely culminates into this one map and fucks everything up for this map specifically because it is treated as a finale of the game's story. Even though I was praising the fact that this map has two endings and two separate boss fights you can encounter, it really hurts afterwards when you look at the story and it makes no sense on why the hell do we have two boss fights and not just fighting Sam. At the end of Shattered Veil, Weaver literally said that he would rather die than see a machine wear Max's face.
I don't trust you at all. A machine wearing Max's face. I'd die before I let that happen.
And also, on top of that, feeling guilty that he and Maxis also killed Richtofen's family. So why the fuck would he want to go against Richtofen at the end? Panos and Blanchard's story also end in this map, but they are completely restricted to an upgrade quest for the Gorg effects that is not even required for the Easter egg. And even after we do either side, we never see them again. If you hurt Blanchard and help Panos, I will fight you on the fucking playground. What could have been done differently is to have these two be the branching paths to the different boss fights. For example, if we helped Blanchard, then we would have the branching pathway into Sam's boss fight, and the opposite could be done with Panos. We help Panos, we fight Richtofen.
And the intel tape of a fucking Kruger! Guys, what the fuck?
Kruger silenced Mary by arranging the hit you carried out. He lied to you about the target. It was not your fault. You and Nexus were set up, and Kruger made sure his friend, Eddie, blamed you.
This whole time, all the shit Richtofen put us and himself through over a fucking lie.
I just thought you should know, regardless of whom you decide to help today.
Another thing that does hurt this map's ending is really the bosses themselves. The only reason I go back and play against Sam's boss is because of the music, but in actuality, her boss fight is really easy. The same can't be said for Richtofen's fight. Richtofen is extremely difficult, and I think he's the hardest boss in the series, but it's difficult to the point where it's stupid. Like, really stupid. Along with the fact that you have exploding classes running at you, or flying at you, sorry, and Uber classes spawning in, it makes it mandatory to run the Maelstrom and the Ether Shroud and the Smoke Grenade. You could possibly fight without those two, but you're not really shooting yourself in the foot, you're cutting off your whole leg. And something else too regarding this map's story. Where the fuck is Roundoff and Peck? I swear they just had a few lines at the beginning of this map, and then disappeared. They just vanished. A small little nitpick that I could say that could have maybe helped add more spectacle to the fight was having either Sam or Richtofen fight alongside you depending on who you're fighting. The ending cutscene with the original 4 was just not good. There really needed to be more build of this version of the original crew, and it just felt very stupid the minute we saw them. It also didn't help that everyone got spoiled on this fact months ago because of leaks. Someone please don't let those leaks happen again. I would say this map is definitely the worst of the final DLC maps in Treyarch games. The gameplay of this map is really good, but the story is the thing that drags it into the abyss. Especially when this map is supposed to be the finale of this game's story. Now, ranking this map, I think it would just sound completely criminal because of how I've been ranking everything else. I think I would give this another 7 out of 10 because the gameplay really just carries this map so much. Despite my shortcomings with this game and how they handle new perks, new ammo mods being locked behind events, leaderboard events just existing, and with how enemies are designed, as well as the story falling off of a cliff into an active volcano, I still did enjoy this game. I love the gameplay loop this game provides. Right now I would put it above Cold War Zombies, but I have no idea what would even go after this game. Now, with BO7 Zombies around the corner, I do hope that game ends up being able to pick up the pieces that was BO6's really bad story and try to make something good. I want to see the writers succeed in making the story good with this really bad hurdle that was BO6's zombie story. Now, the gameplay systems are really good, and I think it would be fine enough to get a gap between releases just so the Zombies team can make something new with the systems. I did enjoy this game. I liked playing it. A lot of my time with Black Ops 6 was in Zombies. You can tell just by looking at the guns I'm using in the gameplay footage. Every single gun I'm using is freaking Nebula. Later on in a few years, I will look at Black Ops 6 Zombies fondly, and I remember the good times I had with this game mode. I had fun with it. Now, I hope you guys did enjoy this review. And this was a year in review with Black Ops 6 Zombies. The great game and the potential story.